You're listening to the REI Marketing Nerds Podcast, the leading resource for real estate investors who want to dominate their market online. Dan Barrett is the founder of AdWords Nerds, a high-tech digital agency focusing exclusively on helping real estate investors like you get more leads and deals online, outsmart your competition, and live a freer, more awesome life. And now, your host, Dan Barrett.
All right, everybody, welcome to this week's episode of the REI Marketing Nerds Podcast. As always, this is Daniel Barrett here from AdWordsNerds.com. And with me, I actually have a very special guest, someone who's in the office with me today. I have my son, Oliver. So Oliver, say hello to the people.
Hi.
So Oliver, you came into the office today. I had you, you wanted to come into the office because your brother got to come into the office the other day. And for people who don't know this, I'm a bit of a comic book nerd. So my office is filled with comic books and toys and Legos and all sorts of stuff that we don't keep in the house. So the kids like to come over here. How are you liking it so far? This is your first like real work day. You've been here for a couple hours now. What do you think about it so far? Are you having fun at the office?
Yes.
Okay, what do you think about the kind of work that I'm doing? Does it look fun or does it look boring?
A little fun, a little boring.
It looks a little boring? What makes it look like a little bit fun?
Because I like seeing the red line when you record.
Oh, so now that I'm recording the podcast, you like seeing like the recording thing show up? Yeah, I gotta say, recording the podcast is probably the coolest thing that I do each day. The rest of the time, it just looks like I'm typing and furrowing my brow. So anything else that you want to say? Everybody's listening to you right now. Anything else you want to say before you say goodbye?
I don't know.
You don't know. All right. Well, why don't you just say goodbye to everybody?
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right. So now it's going to be quiet time for you. You got it? I got to record the podcast this week. It's just me this week and obviously Oliver, who's teaming up with me this week. But this week, I want to talk a little bit about SEO. I made a post recently in the REI Marketing Nerds Facebook group. That's over at AdWordsNerds.com/group. You can go there and join for free. If you're not in that group, you absolutely should be. But I made a post in there about what I see as a really big shift happening in real estate investing. And I got a lot of feedback on that post, a lot of people talking about it. So I wanted to spend a couple podcasts kind of drawing some of that out. Okay, so drawing some of the underlying concepts out there, because I think increasingly this is something that I'm going to be focusing on over the next couple of years, because I think it's an industry-wide shift that we are currently in the middle of that is going to have very real, very pragmatic effects on how you go about finding motivated sellers. So before I get into the nitty-gritty of the shift, as I'm calling it, I want to take a step back and talk about SEO and the changing place of SEO in our industry. So SEO, search engine optimization, if you're not familiar, it's just anything you are doing to your website to make it rank better in Google. And one of the reasons I originally made this post in the REI Marketing Nerds group was because I was in a different Facebook group watching people really kind of talk down about SEO and downplay its importance. And look, a lot of them had really legitimate points. Someone said, look, I can buy leads from everywhere. I can buy leads from ZBuyer. I can buy leads from these people over here. You know, I don't need to go get my own leads. I can just buy them. Someone else was saying, hey, I don't even have a website. I just send mail. It doesn't even matter. Right. And there are people today, investors today, absolutely, that are making a killing, not doing any SEO. I 100% accept that is the case. But I would argue very strongly that is not the case for the average investor. And in fact, most investors not only need to be investing in SEO right now, they need to be treating SEO as perhaps their most dominant and most important marketing channel moving forward. And here is why that is. First of all, SEO has a number of just strict marketing advantages that are very hard to find anywhere else. Obviously, the thing with SEO is that you are not paying for the leads that come through your website. Google is serving you those leads because they think you are going to do a good job of getting those people what they need, whether it's information or a service or whatever. So the leads that come through your website are free. This makes SEO more like investing than any other type of marketing because you are not paying per click. You are not paying per postcard. You are not paying, per mailing piece. You are paying, in time or labor or whatever it is up front to develop the asset of a well-ranking website. And then all of the leads that come in from that website are free, meaning the ROI on that marketing is absolutely incredible.
Want to find motivated seller leads online, but don't know where to start? Download our free 2019 Motivated Seller Keyword Report today. AdWords nerds have spent over $5 million this year researching the most profitable keywords for finding motivated seller leads. And you can grab these exact keywords when you download our report at www.adwordsnerds.com/keywords.
I mean, the second thing that I think most people don't realize, especially if maybe, you've been listening to me for a while, I'm primarily a PPC guy. I'm primarily an online advertising person. That's my preferred method of marketing. But SEO is by far the bigger channel in terms of total volume of potential leads. In most markets, the amount of people that click on organic search results versus the amount of people that click on paid search results is much, much bigger. I mean, we're talking about 4 times as big as an average. So there is a significant sort of volume advantage to working with SEO versus working with PPC. And that's coming from someone that loves PPC. Right. And the other thing that I think most people don't realize about SEO is that it has an intense, it has an intense multiplicative effect, meaning that a lot of the work you do for SEO is going to have sort of a magnifying effect on the other marketing that you're doing. For example, if you are sending out direct mail, I can guarantee that people are then going online and Googling the company. So ensuring that you come up in that instance rather than one of your competitors is extremely important, not just for SEO, but for maximizing the effectiveness of your mailing. Similarly, a lot of the SEO work that you're going to do is actually going to increase the conversion rate of your page, meaning the better that your website is built, the more informative it is, the more useful it is for users, the more likely they are to become leads, which means that your paid traffic is then more effective because you're sending clicks there. The more people that contact you after that point, the better you're going to do. So SEO has not only an incredible ROI and an incredible value, but an incredible multiplicative effect on all of the marketing that you're doing. So for all these reasons, SEO is one of these marketing channels that's incredibly important to get right. So SEO isn't perfect for everybody, and there's a number of reasons why that is. SEO certainly is difficult in terms of kind of like the amount of technicality you need to bring to it. It's constantly changing as a marketing sort of the channel. The things you got to know and the things you got to keep track of are in constant flux. And there's just a fair amount of labor involved. It's not something that you can really do a shortcut on. And it's something that's continuous. So it's something that you continuously got to work on. Not to mention the fact that it's relatively slow to produce results. It's something that can take months for you to really start seeing the results of the work that you're doing. And for that reason, a lot of investors just find it very difficult, either logistically or psychologically to invest in SEO. And I get that, right? It's like, maybe you don't want to pay anyone, but you don't want to do it yourself. It's one of these sort of, darned if you do, darned if you don't situations. But the advantages of SEO make it so that it is uniquely qualified to serve as a long-term marketing channel for investors. And that's going to become increasingly important. It's important now. It's going to become increasingly important because of the ways that the real estate investing industry is changing. So in my next podcast, I'm going to talk about why the industry is changing, how it's changing, and how the types of marketing you are doing online are going to play into that. So make sure that you listen to the next episode. I'm going to go take care of my kiddo because he's getting a little restless. I hope you enjoyed this podcast more than he did, and I will talk to you guys next week. Bye-bye. All right, Oliver, you got a goodbye message for everybody?
Yeah.
Do it.
Bye. See you soon.
All right, not bad.
This is the podcastfactory.com.